If you've watched any videos on the simple steps you need to do to get more people to see your video, people always talk about the hook. It's been about the title, the thumbnail, and the hook. Well, the hook is even more different now, and I'm going to show you why in this video.
All right, do tell.
I just made a video maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago talking about how YouTube CEO came out and said that they have pushed out billions and billions of hours of YouTube content on televisions. We're talking about the big things that you hang on the wall in the back, because every TV sold in America over the last 10 to 12 years has a YouTube button. People are absorbing lots and lots and lots of YouTube content on TV. I even asked a question in that video, who's watching on their TV, and people are like, hey, I'm watching you on my big Sony right now. So now that we know that this is a thing, now, the feature I'm going to talk about has been out for a little more than a year, but now I believe it's more impactful than ever. And that's the fact that when you pull up your remote, pretend this is the remote, and you go to search for a video on a television set, when you move the box over to possibly select that video, it starts to play the beginning of the video, sort of on autoplay. On your phone, which is crazy, even if you don't touch anything, it will sit there and start playing the video, and you can get, if the sound is on, you can get like a minute, 2 minutes into that video, then you press it and it will continue from where you are. If the sound is off, it'll run back to the beginning. And again, your mileage may vary on your device, your OS, so forth, so on, etc. But you'll know on all the devices now, YouTube is always showing you a little bit of a visual preview of the video as you decide to select what you want to select. This is where a lot of creators are missing the opportunity to stop the scroll and grab those eyeballs, because you're not making that first couple seconds of the video highly interactive or highly attractive. Let's use attractive in this particular case. So I'm going to show you how to do this. And again, if you've been paying attention on the channel, I have been sampling this and seeing how it works, and it works phenomenally. And I said, I've been doing it and I've showed you this technique, but I never showed you the two together. So we're going to jump into that real quick. There we go. So let's bring up Final Cut. And here's a video just from a couple days ago. And if I go ahead and press play here. Exploration, experimentation, two of the most important things you could do in your content creation journey. So I had an idea. So right there within the first 5 seconds, there was a little something interesting with the words popping up and the space playing in the background, right? It was just literally, I took the first portion of the video. I'm going to show you how to do this, so don't worry. I took the first portion of this video. I added a beautiful nebula type thing, and then just 2 basic text, no special plugins, right? So you can see that. One thing I wanted to mention, that even if you just are using your regular Final Cut, actually you could do this in CapCut, you could do this in everything except iMovie, Gretchen, but you could do this in pretty much any of the apps that you have. And I decided on that particular video purposely to use nothing fancy, so that way no one can say, well, I don't have that plugin. How are we going to sort of get into the habit of doing this if I don't have all these plugins? So I use what's really built in the Final Cut. Now, you might be using Premiere or something else, but all of this is going to work in this particular case. Let me jump back in real quick. So here in Final Cut, I'm going to show you another project that I did. Now, this one is a little bit more subtle. It's not using the magnetic mask. It's just using just a standard play. So if I let this play out for you,
you want to get good at this game,
the video
you're gonna have to
goes.
start out with some brand new habits.
Old habits are hard to break.
Let me connect.
There you go. So the video just goes, and then in about 3 seconds in, I just switch the imagery right there real quick. So let me show you real quick how to do this. I'm going to make a new project. I'll be bad habits and not even label it. And I'm going to show you, don't laugh. I'm going to show you the first take of this video that I shot, and I forgot to turn on the sound.
We are laughing.
Don't laugh at me. All I did was, let's come in and let's move the cursor to, let's say about 9 seconds. I didn't say anything in this particular video, but let's just use 8 seconds of this clip. So we're going to blade that out, and then I'm going to embiggen it so you can see. Go back to the home button. Again, I'm going to press this guy here, and actually let's blade sort of, it doesn't start there, but it jumps. In other words, it doesn't start at the very beginning. It comes in a little bit later. Again, it's going to depend on your dialogue. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to push it up. And then I'm going to select on this topmost clip, go over here, grab the magnetic mask, and then just begin to mask myself out. And this is really simple. I'm wearing my hat today. If you hold down the Option key, I can make sure that it doesn't get these areas that it tends to miss. And I just know from my studio what it tends to miss. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-protect myself from such things. And then you're just going to press Analyze, and you're going to let it analyze. Just let it do its thing. Now, in this particular case, the next step would be just to get an interesting image, something that you're going to use to just break up this sort of monotony. So I could do anything. I'm just going to grab a clip from my computer and bring it over here to the timeline real quick. And I'm going to pull this down. And it's just, this clip doesn't make any sense, but it's just here to show you what we're doing. So I'm going to select this, make sure that we're on the magnetic mask, because what I didn't do was I didn't press done once we were here. And it looks like it's working, but let's just drop this underneath. And then when I come here, you can see it's there. So I would select on this clip and then close that in. So what's going to happen is as this video plays, you're just going to see something interesting happening in the background, and then it's going to go back to me. Now, another thing that you could do with this is select here on the beginning, and then I'm going to leave this at this particular size. I'm going to just let it go a little bit in, and I'm going to press here, and I'm going to make sure that I click on position and scale. And so I'm going to scale this guy down and then move all the way over to the bottom, and then maybe also move over to the side, right? So that's going to be my situation there. And then I could go back to the beginning and set these guys all back to 0. Actually, I could type it in. All right, so when it comes on real quick, you'll see what happens. And it just moves me into the corner so you can sort of see what I'm doing. Now, this part of the clip isn't that interesting, so if you want to make it more interesting, hold down the T key in Final Cut and just scrub till you get where there's something happening. So that way, when it plays in the background, there's a little something going on, and it isn't just, the sort of the empty box, if you will. Now, in this particular case, I'm showing you just adding a clip. So let's remove the clip real quick, and then we can go over, and I'll show you the one that Jen showed us. You can look in here, and there's some basic ones that come with Final Cut. There's background generators that are built in. So you could grab this cloud generator, stick it in the middle there. There we go. You can grab the cloud generator, and it's going to have, something like that going down. You could use this sort of blurbs guy right here, and I'll just replace from the start. So again, you have something interesting happening in the back, in which case you could throw text on. If you got keynote slides, pictures, anything. Now, there's elements, not that one. There's, I forgot where Final Cut put this thing because I don't use them. I have my own fancy ones, but there are some built in. It's under Essentials. Nope. Where's it at? Dynamic. There we go. Dynamic titles. Okay, so let's grab this guy and put it in right there. And we're going to embiggen this, make it bigger. And so you could put in your very first impact statement here. Click on this, change the colors to whatever you want. I'm going to use my color palette so that it's more me, right? And then I'll take this one, grab the light one. So there's my color palette right there. Maybe I would take the last color and select it as white. And then if you want to come in and change this, you can say, and then make it larger. And again, you're going to have that same thing. This is going to provide some impact whenever, someone goes to look for that particular video. Okay. So of course you would trim this so that it's at the end of your other clip, so it's not in the way. And then just me, because I have my Raphael pack, I would just add in like a little glitch right about here, and then maybe a little glitch right about here and make it smaller. So when that plays in, it just adds a little something to it so that it's a little bit more different. Now, again, this could be any type of graphics. You can pull B-roll clips. I like to stick in a really, I don't suggest this for everyone, but I like to stick in a really tiny image from like a movie or a cartoon, a meme, a GIF, anything that just adds a little quick movement in the very first beginning of your clip. You're looking for something within like the first 5 to 7 seconds, 10 at the latest. So that way, when someone's scrolling on their phone and they're trying to decide what to watch, when they move that cursor over that video stops for a second, it does something, and they're like, oh, this looks interesting, and then they can go into your video. So try this out, experiment, play, see if it works for you. Again, I know the Final Cut way because that's what I use. The DaVinci way, you're going to have to look it up. I'm sorry. If you Premiere, ask Mary Lou. She can teach you. And there's also, I believe, I think it's really easy to do in CapCut. Matter of fact, for many of you, if you use Canva can remove the background in videos, so you can just find that little section that you want, highlight that portion, export it, and then use that, make it in Canva, then bring it back in. And if you need a tutorial on how to do it in Canva, let me know. I'll be more than happy to make it. But know that now, title, thumbnail, and something interesting that happens in the very beginning of your video is what you need to do. Now, if you don't want to do this in the edit, say you want to record without editing, of course you could do this in Ecamm by using scenes. I don't have anything per se, but I could just say jump to something like this and then jump back to something like this and then come back to something like this. That alone will show a little bit. And what's really cool, if you're using something like Ecamm, is you can set yourself up a new scene sort of like this. So let's take this guy and then let's make a brand new. I'm going to pull in the camera real quick. So I can pull the camera overlay, and let's say I'm going to stick it there, and then I could pull in the screen share overlay and put it here, do a little saucy sauce like that. And then, of course, I would just change the perspective a little bit in Ecamm to make it look interesting. And then you could run with that. So you can start your video out, say, today, I'm going to show you how to do something cool. I should have done it for this video. Do something cool in Final Cut, and then jump over and let me show you how we're going to do this. And so again, if someone was seeing that in the very beginning of your video, it would just add like, oh, I see they're about to teach me something cool. So try this out. Let me know if it works. And you know the rule around here. I don't know who needed to hear this, but if it was you, yes, Ty, I'm talking to you. Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, press the like button, subscribe button, notification button, so you can ring the bell and know whenever I make another one of these videos. And right about now, the algorithm is going to show you another video they think you should watch, and I agree with them.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver.